Ada is about to face the one thing that she's always feared. Not Code, not Kawaki, not even her own feelings. Instead, she's being hunted down by something that does not really love her. Something that thinks it's in love with her, but really just wants to erase her. And no, this isn't some ordinary enemy. This thing is like if Diddy became the shinobi snake and showed up at your house with baby oil and a lot of pent-up aggression and even more unresolved trauma. I mean, Mamushi's origin is already disturbing if we're being honest here. He's a man that is made from the chakra bug, a person who had a literal obsession with Ada due to her ability that was a byproduct of omnipotence, where she charmed everyone to feel in love with her. And now in chapter 24 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, it is confirmed that Mamushi is on the clock and he is on the move because of one emotion: love. And that clock is ticking. And according to Kashi and Koji, Ada can no longer sit back. She's either going to have to do the one thing that she has never wanted to do, which is fight, because she views fighting as barbaric, or she's gonna have to get swallowed whole. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video, where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, breaks down the true beauty in Ada and Mamushi's conflict finally kicking off like we've been calling for over the last 2 years. And now that it's here, I want to highlight the extreme importance of the underlying theme that circles around these two, because it directly builds on the theme of the arc that we just wrapped up. Also, if you haven't seen the chapter review, I'll leave that linked in the end credits to this video, as well as the description box, which, throwing this out here because there's been some confusion, you'll probably be seeing this video like the week after the chapter reviews come out. I edit videos in advance, hence you're seeing like whatever day the chapter review was uploaded for the image that has been shown. Also, if you are a fan of Dandadan, my new video explaining the evil eye, it is safe for anime-only fans of the series, as well as other Dandadan videos that should be coming out on that channel. I got to check with the editor for that channel, so check that out if you have not seen it already. So let's jump right into it and let's look at Mamushi's origins and the warning of Jura, because that's very important. So let's jump in our time machines and rewind back in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Jura, he's telling his fellow Shinju, Mamushi, and Hidari that love, it is a dangerous human emotion that the Shinju must stamp out. And since these Shinju are made from the chakra humans, they're not immune. In Mamushi's case, he was born from Bug, Ada's creepy stalker who followed her around like a lovesick puppy. Bug's obsession, it bled into Mamushi, but instead of making him love Ada, it made him hate what it is that she truly represents, and that's why he's going after her to consume her. Jura said that love could be their downfall, and Mamushi, more loyal to Jura than anything else, is taking that literally. He's decided he's going to stamp out that infection of love, which is what Jura told him to do. He's going after Ada, not to love her, but to destroy the symbol of unrequited affection. Mamushi right now is acting out every incel's dream, and for Ada, that's basically horror movie material. And with Boruto's interference, telling Kawaki to remove his limiters, the change of flow of destiny, Mamushi, he's finally been set loose. And that brings me to Ada and how we've basically been seeing her as a pacifist. She hates fighting, but now she's going to be forced to fight. And that's why I say red flag. She's somebody who views fighting as barbaric. She is powerful, sure, that's been established. Her taijutsu itself is only basic in nature, but I liken it a lot to, say, adult Sakura fighting Kabuto. Adult Sakura is stronger than Kabuto, but she's not winning the fight because there is a skill gap. It's the same thing here. Jigen had no reason to be wary of Ada's abilities because they do not work on Jigen. Even if she turned all the car inners against Jigen, Jigen was stronger than all of them. Amato specifically said all of those cyborgs that were ordered to be destroyed possess combat capability above Jigen. Her powers, the Senrigan and charm-based abilities, yeah, they made her untouchable, but not a threat for Jigen. So why throw punches when you can bend the world to your will? For someone like Ada, that's the benefit of her having those particular powers. She's got a brother who would do anything that she needs. She herself views herself as a delicate little flower. She's not going to want to fight. But the problem with this is that Mamushi isn't affected by her charm. He was born from Bug's obsession, but he has not been truly ensnared by it. And he's aware of her Senrigan. He's one of the only people we've seen who has actually sensed her in that spiritual projection and walked right up to her. And he has her absolutely terrified. It is implied he might be able to harm her when she uses that power. And that's what makes him uniquely dangerous. He is like a Mamushi snake that is in the grass waiting and knows exactly where to strike. And again, Mamushi is named after the most venomous snake in Japan, a Mamushi snake, a pit viper. This gets even crazier when you realize that Ikimoto, by having Mamushi go after Ada right now, he's pulling on a very famous Japanese folklore, Kiyohime, the snake spirit of vengeance. So let's talk that Japanese folklore. You knew this was coming. So have you ever heard of the story of Kiyohime? She was a woman who fell in love with a monk, but he rejected her. Heartbroken and enraged, she transformed into a giant serpent out of sheer spite, and so she hunted him down. Eventually, she tracked him to the temple and burned him alive inside of a bell. So yeah, do you see the parallel? So just like Kiyohime, Mamushi is driven by a warped, corrupted form of love, an obsession, love that turns into hate. Obsession eventually becomes violence. Mamushi isn't in love with Ada. He is the vengeance of unfulfilled love. Bug was basically that Kiyohime who was in love and transformed into a snake. Mamushi is the vengeful spirit. That snake was a vengeful spirit. Mamushi is the vengeful spirit in this example. He basically sees Ada's existence as the flame that fuels the weakness that Juro was warning about. And like Kiyohime, he's not going to stop until that object of desire is eliminated. Again, that's why I call it a incel's revenge fantasy story. Basically, Mamushi's acting out the plot of redo healer in a way. Now, if Ada is going to survive, she can't really do it alone. I think we all agree with that. Average taijutsu skill means nothing, not against someone that was able to pressure base Boruto, and this is where Damon comes in. Her little brother, he may act childish and chaotic and like an idiot, but he loves Ada, and that love is pure, and it is unconditional sibling love. They are the opposites of Mamushi from a symbolic perspective. Ada and Damon added together equals true love. Mamushi is basically twisted obsession. This fight, when it happens, it won't be a battle of jutsu, obviously. Instead, it's a symbolic battle. True bonds versus a parasitic fixation. Mutual care versus a one-sided desire. Family versus fantasy. Love versus obsession. And if Ada is finally able to go into battle and use what limited skills she has alongside her brother Damon, who will have to be using full power for the first time ever. Again, Chekhov's gun, we're told he was never able to use full power in any fight prior to this. He's going to have to use it now. This could be the first time that we see all these things on display. The pacifist and the chaotic brother who loves battle. The girl with the power of a goddess who watches the world. She's going to have to be someone who gets her hands dirty now, or she's going to face being devoured. And that brings me to the next part, Mamushi's hidden advantage. Remember how Mamushi noticed Ada's Senrigan projection when no one else has ever noticed it? That wasn't a cool detail. That was foreshadowing. The Mamushi snake in Japan is stealthy. It hides in tall grass. It waits for the right moment, and then it strikes out warning. Where is that condo that Team 7 is stationed at? Outside of the village. It is isolated. What if Mamushi can harm Ada through a Senrigan projection? It might be the case. What if while she's projecting her presence, he can trace her consciousness back to her real body, or even strike her remotely? Think about that. Ada watching from afar as she's always done. Maybe now that Kashin Koji has told her that Mamushi's on the move, she makes the mistake to see where Mamushi is currently, and suddenly without realizing, hey, he sees me. He's inside the projection. He's coming for me now. That would make him the perfect predator, able to go after Ada, and it would also neutralize her greatest ability, the Senrigan. The very eye that she's grown accustomed to using completely unchecked. If she wanted to see something, she could just as easily cut on her eyes and watch from a distance, and nobody would know that she was spying on the most intimate of moments. And people are creatures of habit. When they are in a situation, muscle memory kicks in. For her, muscle memory is using her Senrigan to spy on things that are currently occurring, the very things she can't do while Mamushi is looking for her. So here's the takeaway. Mamushi isn't a joke. He is a manifestation of everything wrong, with obsession masquerading as love. And now he's officially coming for Ada. This isn't just another fight. It's a battle that mirrors folklore, psychology, and trauma. Ada has always avoided violence, but now she may have no choice but to confront her most terrifying enemy yet, a stalker made from the soul of her biggest admirer. And she won't be alone, because where there's twisted love, there's also a true love waiting to fight back. That true love obviously being her brother Damon. What do you guys think will happen when Mamushi finally meets Ada is the question. Will Damon protect her? Will Ada finally have to get her hands dirty? Let me know down in the comment section below. And obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, checking out the chapter review by clicking here on the left, or check out these other videos from my other two anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.